I would have probably looked pregnant forever. Hi guys, welcome back. It is me, Drew, and today's what I have for you I'm really pumped about because today is my Q&A video for after having my excess skin removal surgery, my 360 trunk lift, plastic surgery. So I had my surgery May 23rd, 2018. So it's been about 7 weeks, and on my last video updating you about how my body was doing after having surgery, I told you I'd be doing a Q&A video, and I told you guys to comment below that video with your questions. So I have my phone here so I can read your guys' questions and answer them. And there really wasn't too many. I think the reason is because, like, if you are a regular on my channel in the Just Like Drew crew, I'm pretty open about what I'm going through with my journey, so it's like there's not too many questions I think left open because I kind of answer questions ahead of time with like just being so open about how I'm going through all this. So the first question we have is from Jocelyn. Jocelyn asked, did your diet change while going through recovery? So my diet didn't really change too much. I actually kind of ate about the same kinds of food that I ate before. It was like a couple of days for my stomach to adjust just because I had, you know, like anesthesia and all that. But I will say that I actually ate less. Like, I wasn't as hungry, but I was still able to eat the same amounts of food. Like the first week, it was a little bit more on like the bland side. But after the initial week, I could basically eat anything. Like, I like spicy foods. I was able to eat like stuff with hot sauce and all that. So it wasn't like my diet really changed drastically. I ate a little bit differently just because like when I'm working, I have like specific food that I bring with me to like work and all that I eat like kind of like a more strict regimen. But for the most part, it was all foods I already ate before, so nothing like that changed. All right, let me see here. Okay, Pamela asked if I had body dysmorphia before plastics, and is it different after plastics, and is it easier to see myself as thin, like with the excess skin gone? So I've talked about this on my Instagram. I have struggled with body dysmorphia a lot. If you have no idea what body dysmorphia is, it's basically when you look at your body one way, and your body actually looks a different way. So it happens a lot of times with people who've gone through dramatic weight loss, like I have, where I've lost 255 pounds. So for me, a lot of times because I was heavier since I was like a little kid up until like the last couple of years, I still see myself as heavier. So like, you know, going to a restaurant, if they go to sit me in a booth, sometimes I'll get like nervous because I think I'm not gonna fit in the booth because that's something I was used to when I was close to, you know, when I was over 400 pounds. So, body dysmorphia, I struggled with it really bad before I had skin removal surgery, especially because my tummy was a lot bigger than it was supposed to be because of the extra skin. But after, I have struggled with it a little bit. Not as bad. I've noticed like body dysmorphia for me, it always comes around, especially when I'm like PMSing, because like when I get bloated or my face swells a little bit, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I look heavy. So I will say like I do still struggle with it, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And then, you know, I was asked if it's easier to see myself as thin. Honestly, no. I still think that I'm like, not that I think I'm like bigger, but I don't know if I'll ever see myself as thin or small, especially because I'm still curvy. Like I still have hips that, you know, I'm not tiny in this area, if you know where I'm going with that. So I think I'm always going to struggle with seeing myself as like a thin woman. I mean, I'm still between a medium. Sometimes I can wear a small, even an extra small, depending on who the maker of the clothes is. But I don't know if I'm ever going to see myself as thin, honestly. Even if I was like, you know, down to like the lowest weight in my BMI, which I'm not trying to get there because I don't think that my body would look proportionate or necessarily healthy for me. But I just don't think I'd ever, you know, be that way. So, I don't know. Let's see here. What was the hardest part of the entire process, and what was your biggest support system? From Jessica. So the hardest part of the entire process, geez, that's kind of a loaded question. The drains were really, really hard because I had 4 surgical drains. So trying to wear clothes and feel any kind of attractive when you've got these big old drains on you is really difficult, especially because like my drains for a couple weeks there were like working overtime, so they were really bloated, like big, you know, drains. And so that was really, really hard. Also in the second weekend when I told you guys that the feeling had returned in my sides and I had trouble with walking, that was very, very hard. Going up and down the stairs was like extremely hard, like leaving the house. and keeping my mind kind of like in a positive place like was a constant fight, because like it just, with all of the drains and all the fluid and all the things that were going on, it was really hard to feel like good about myself or attractive at times. My biggest support system was my family and my boyfriend Hamish, and you guys have seen my friend Josh. I've actually had a few friends. My friend Cody was a big support system too. These people, like, it wasn't that they were always here showing up for me, but they were constantly checking in with me. How are you doing? What's going on? You know, if I was having a day where like my emotions were kind of extra, because your hormones do shift when you go through like major surgeries like this and when you lose significant amount of weight. You know, they had patience with me, understanding with me. My mom and my boyfriend, like, they helped me so much. You know, my mom would take me walking at the gym and make sure I don't overdo it, and also just kind of be with me. My mom drove me to Milwaukee for doctor's appointments like every single week, which was really crazy. My mom does not like driving, you know, long distances like on the highway because there's a lot of construction. And so she did that for me. My boyfriend, he would help me like with my drains if I was having issues. You know, he would help me walk up and down the stairs. It just, they really were like my rocks of support during this time. And like I said, they had the understanding, you know, when I was having a day where I was just like really emotional. They weren't like, you know, hey, snap out of it. They understood. They were patient with me. They stood by me. You know, they helped me get through this and were understanding, even though it was like stressful and on days where like I was really having a difficult time, because there was a lot of those. You know, they stuck in it with me and they didn't leave me alone to like deal with it by myself. So that was kind of what I think about that. Jeez. All right. Next person said, Alicia asked, what insurance do I have, and did they pay for all of it, even the belly button too? So I don't want to share my insurance just because of privacy reasons. I'm not trying to be weird about that. I don't know. I just like, that's something I want to keep private in my insurance company. And also just to note, if you've had weight loss surgery, usually insurance, no matter who you're with, will actually cover skin removal if they see it as like a medical necessity. So the insurance company itself doesn't necessarily matter. It depends on if you meet the qualifications for that. And I'll probably do a whole different video of my knowledge of like plastic surgery with insurance and all of that at some point. Everything for my surgery was completely covered. My entire reconstruction, belly button, everything was completely covered. I did not have to pay anything out of pocket for my surgery. So if that's your question, and the reason is because of the amount of excess skin I had. They saw it as a medical necessity. I had back issues. I think that it was actually making me have hormone and like sickness issues, not like sick, but like I noticed my body is healthier and functioning better now if the skin is gone. So that is kind of that whole thing there. So everything for my surgery was completely covered by insurance. And I will say that the insurance that I have now is not the same company that I went through when I had my weight loss surgery, which was also covered by insurance. So that's kind of what I want to explain to you. It's not that you have to stay with the same insurance. Insurance will cover it based upon whether or not they deem your surgery as a medical necessity. So I was very blessed that mine was covered and that they covered it through a plastic surgeon, and that I was able to have such a phenomenal reconstruction done of my stomach area. Okay, let me keep looking. I don't know. Okay, so Tara asked, how did I decide on the specific procedure that I had done, and were there other things that I wanted, like a breast lift or arms, that insurance wouldn't cover? So for me, I didn't really necessarily decide on the procedure. It was kind of explained to me by my physician's assistant for my weight loss surgery. And like the plastic surgeon that I saw. Basically, they assessed my stomach and they told me, this is what you're gonna need to have if you want any kind of a normal looking stomach after all the weight that you've lost. Most people after having significant weight loss end up just getting what they call like the skirt, where they just do like the, you know, tummy tuck, pull it tight, and that's it. Most actual surgeons who do weight loss surgery do tummy tucks as well, because it's not an intensive procedure. Based on the amount of weight that I lost, they referred me to a plastic surgeon because of the fact that if they would have done just a regular tummy tuck, I still would have had a lot of overhang on my back. I would have probably looked pregnant forever. The belly button reconstruction, all of that, that wouldn't have been possible. My plastic surgeon was actually referred to me from my doctor's office because of the fact that that's who they worked with in the past, and like he is like the bomb and like knows how to do that full reconstruction because it's a really intensive procedure. Yeah, I guess other procedures, I would have liked to get my arms done. I actually had gotten the cost information for that. I couldn't afford that. Insurance does not cover arms and they do not cover breasts. Unless it's like a very, very, very rare situation, like you can prove like massive medical necessity to have like your breasts redone and your arms done. Legs insurance sometimes will cover depending on how much weight you have lost. I would like to get my legs and arms done. My breasts I would like to get done too, but I feel like I could live with not getting my breasts done for a while because I do wear phenomenal bras from Victoria's Secret that make them look amazing, and it's not like I'm showing them off, so I don't really, I guess, care if they don't look absolutely perfect at all times. So legs at some point is something that I will be having submitted to insurance. I will have to save money to get my arms done because insurance does not cover that, and it is expensive based off of wherever you go. Okay, so that was actually all the questions that I was asked. You guys didn't have too many. Like I said, I tried to give as much detail as I could. I'll be trying to do more Q&A videos as time goes on, just like about different parts of my journey. Like I said, it's been about 7 weeks and like 2 days, like 7.5 weeks since I've had my skin removal surgery. As I said in my last video, I'm sorry that I haven't been as good with doing videos of like my tummy and all that. It's hard for me to do that by myself. I don't know, I like need help. Like I struggle with trying to film those on my own. But I have been posting a lot of side-by-side photos of like my skin before and after on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Justlikedrew, spelled the same way it is on YouTube, all one word. Otherwise, yeah. I also want to mention that if you entered my stockpile giveaway, I will be contacting the winner today as this video goes out. I wanted to wait till this video came out to say that, so that way you guys always ask me like who won the giveaway or like whatever. So I'm going to be contacting the person who won the giveaway today before this video launches, and they'll have 48 hours to claim it. Otherwise it'll roll over into box week, which is actually going to be starting next week on my YouTube channel. Otherwise, yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. But if you want to see more photos of me, you can check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, and on Twitter at Justlikedrew, spelled the same way as down below. If you want to be part of the Justlikedrew crew and you're not already, click the red subscribe button down below this video and join our forever family, because we are literally the best crew around, because anybody and everybody can be in our crew. I love you guys so stinking much, and if you like this video and you want to see more from me, you know what to do. Justlikedrew, have an amazing day, have an amazing week, have an amazing life, and I will see you very, very soon because box week starts next week. Alrighty, talk to you, love you, goodbye, 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 goodbye. I'm gonna finish it.
Yep, do it. Put on your strong face.